Let me ask you the question. What's the number one thing that every parent needs to do to keep their kids protected online?
I think from the age of 5, I mean, you will not believe
of
it.
5.
You know, they need to start educating their children. I
Okay.
believe that this should be, I will answer your question, this should be a subject at school. They're starting, and we do a lot of talks to schools as well. And Sheldon and I was at my son's school in
Yeah.
Rickmansworth only a few months ago. You know, one of those
Yes.
days where the career stuff.
Brilliant. Yeah.
And you know how many kids came past, and we just showed them basics on their phones that they weren't aware of. Even a group of girls, 6 of them, said they're all using the same password for the Instagram.
They're sharing a password.
They're sharing passwords. So to answer your question, one of my favorite apps is called Custodio.
Custodio.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do not sell it, but you know, I used to use it for years. So what you do as a parent, you install the parent side of it on your PC or your Mac or your phone, and then you install the child side onto theirs, and they can't uninstall it either. And then you can set age limits.
Really?
So you can set, you know, 11 or 12 or 15 or even 18, you know, whatever you want to. Because that way you can not only monitor, but you can also stop them from using the phone.
Yes.
The problem that you have, as long as the parents are doing that, but not all parents are doing that. And that's one thing we can't control. So when they're sitting in the playground and they're looking at somebody else's phone, there's a problem. That's number one.
Yeah.
The second thing you could do, which is even better, I think, you know, let's say you're with EE and you give your son or daughter an EE phone.
Yeah.
You can set parental limits on the actual account.
On the data. So when they're receiving data.
Yeah, so even if they go to their friend's Wi-Fi, they'll still, you know, be locked down.
Yes.
And I think that's a good thing.
Okay, that's really good.
You know, and then, you know, for instance, if I use Apple, for argument's sake, something you can do for free is what is called screen time. So you can set up screen time for free.
Yeah.
My kids used to hate it. Anyway, but then, you know, you can set their time limits that they can use, you know, whatever. You can block certain apps, you know, so you can get a really good control out the box without spending a penny.
And it is interesting because we can't limit our kids from using devices. We can't limit them from using the internet because with all due respect, they're going to be using it their whole life in the future. But how can we monitor it? And did you watch that recent program on Netflix called Adolescence?
Yeah, excellent.
Really excellent program. Yeah. And it was so interesting because you think that this kid is just in his bedroom and he's going through all of this stuff. All of these things are happening and the parents don't know.
No.
But how can the parents know? I actually had quite a lot of pity for the parents in the sense, you know, as far as they're concerned, their kid's safe in his bedroom doing what he's doing.
But like I said, but they need to protect the phone and they need to make sure the internet is also protected.
Okay.
So you can phone up BT, you can phone up, you know, Virgin, whoever you're using, and say, please help me or talk me through how to restrict my internet access for my children.
Perfect.
I mean, EE is quite big on this. They're very good.
Really? Okay.
And then you can set that level. So you need to, so my point is you need to look at 2 levels. One is in the house and 2 outside the house.
Okay, fine. So basically speak to your network provider, speak to your Wi-Fi provider, make sure that they're giving you the right level of protection for your kids. Phone provider. And the phone provider as well. And then also maybe there's some application. What was the name of the app?
Custodio. Custodio.
Perfect. So Custodio is also...
And I think it's as cheap as chips. I think it was £40. That's up to 3 or 5 devices per year. I mean, it's nothing but please do install this because then you're protecting the child from themselves.